Welcome back to the Bet Canada Challenge. I am your host, Jeff Lloyd, and in this video, we're going to discuss the New York Giants. The NFC East as a whole is a tougher division this year. The Giants have made some great strides, but they are kind of in a little bit of a conundrum. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, both chose to sign with the New York Giants this offseason. Both doing it with the thought process of maybe the next phase of their life after football, choosing the New York City area to basically get started in whatever either player will become when their playing days are over. To make things even more interesting, the New York Giants ended up with 2 first-round selections, Abdul Carter, pass rusher out of Penn State, and then they traded back into the first round to select rookie quarterback out of Ole Miss, Jackson Dart. Head coach Brian Dable certainly could be on the hot seat in his time in New York, so certainly a winning season and a playoff appearance is probably paramount to whether or not Dable's career with the New York Giants continues. So there's going to be a careful navigation from Dable about playing the best quarterback and trying to have the best quarterback on the field to give the team the best chance to win and understanding whether or not they can ultimately reach the playoff goal that they are going to set for themselves. Ideally, you believe Russell Wilson signed with the New York Giants with the belief and the understanding that he is the starting quarterback. Wilson's play is just not what it used to be in his glory days in Seattle, and we all get older. That's just a fact. He did jump in and get a Pittsburgh Steeler team to the playoffs last year. But when quarterbacks hit a certain age, it's hard to fathom them going through 17 regular season games and then also be able to put together a lengthy playoff run. Wilson did not start the entire season last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He came in late in relief of Justin Fields. So the question then is for Brian Dable is you have to do what is best for the New York Giants in 2025, but you also have to look out for what is best for the New York Giants in the future years afterwards. Now, that's not the easiest thing to do when your job is on the line. Obviously, keeping your job and the best way to keep your job is to be successful. So Russell Wilson, right now, today in July, is probably the best option at quarterback for a New York Giant team that features a great running back room, a true dominant number one wide receiver in Malik Neighbors, a growing tight end in Theo Johnson, a defensive line, and we will get to them in nickel and dime situations that can just be downright terrifying, and a stout secondary that combined with that pass rush should put together a really nice defensive unit for the Giants. The question will be, and there are several teams in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns are kind of in this situation themselves. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston starting give the Giants no hope for the future. The future, obviously, for the New York Giants organization is Jackson Dart. So the question is, how do you navigate the progress of a Russell Wilson and decide when exactly is the right time for Jackson Dart? If this team is winning, are you afraid to maybe switch things up? If this team is struggling early, once you go to Dart, that's it. You're not going back to Russell Wilson. You're certainly not going to Jameis Winston. So it's a delicate process to maneuver for the New York Giants. With the talent they have as far as running the ball, Tyrone Tracy was outstanding last year as a rookie. Devin Singletary has proven to be a nice complementary back year in, year out in his time in the NFL. Cam Scatterboo obviously is a very interesting name and a guy that everybody fell in love with last year while watching college football, while he basically Bobby Bouchered the Arizona State Sun Devils into the collegiate playoffs. Neighbors was dominant from day one. He showed everything the New York Giants thought he was going to be. And again, the New York Giants struck gold with a wide receiver out of LSU. Neighbors, you would think, should be able to put up even better numbers here in year two. The overall quarterback play is going to be better. Wilson's just more talented than what the Giants trotted out there last year, as well as Jameis Winston, as well as Jackson Dart. But the offense itself is going to need to be a little bit more diverse. They're going to have a nice mix of run and of course, throwing the football. Russell Wilson is not going to win games with his arm anymore. So that's going to be a key thing in regards to the New York Giants offense. Again, when is the rookie ready? And are you in a situation where you don't want to disturb the apple cart by pulling out Russell Wilson if the team is playing well? I hope you're enjoying this video. This is the last of our NFC East pieces on the New York Giants. We will navigate to the AFC West, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs in our next video. The New York Giants defense, and look, a defensive premise, it's just really not that difficult to just say, hey, we want to be able to get after the quarterback, and we want to be able to have a secondary that can create turnovers. Well, the New York Giants are built to do just that. When they get to the nickel and the dime situation, the New York Giants can run out a pass rushing foursome of Dexter Lawrence, Ryan Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau. That is just downright terrifying. Thibodeau, Burns, Lawrence are all good pass rushers in their own right. You add a unique athletic chess piece like Abdul Carter, his speed, his length, his overall quickness, he will develop even more as a general pass rusher, develop his pass rush moves even more. But the fact is, early on, you can probably disguise Abdul Carter very similar to how the Dallas Cowboys deployed Micah Parsons in the early part of his tenure in Dallas. Carter has absolute just electricity within his legs. His first step is outstanding. Again, he has general, overall great foot speed. Tank Lawrence, you're already committing two, if not three, would be blockers to a player of his strength, girth, and the way he moves up the middle. He just absolutely collapses a pocket. So when you have Tank Lawrence doing this and the quarterback trying to get out of the pocket, you have players in Burns, Thibodeau, and of course, Abdul Carter, who are going to pretty much chase down any quarterback in the NFL. Now, you talk about the secondary that they have. They brought in Paulson Adebo to be a starting cornerback on the outside. They already had Deontay Banks. Drew Phillips was an outstanding addition for the Giants as a rookie in 2024, as well as safety Tyler Nubin. Those guys were drafted in the second and the third rounds, respectively, of the 2024 NFL draft. They didn't stop there. They went out, they paid the big money, and they brought in a player like Javon Holland, formerly of the Miami Dolphins. Holland's name and game speaks for itself. Ball hawk ability. All of these guys, Adebo, Banks, Phillips, Newman, Holland, all have the ability to get their hands on the ball. And with the amount of pressure the New York Giants should be able to generate from their front four, it should absolutely lead to a lot of turnovers for a New York Giants defense. The defense, ideally, is probably going to be the key here because if the defense can play up to their potential, which could be a top 10, top five unit, then it allows you to keep the veteran Russell Wilson behind center. You will not be having Russell Wilson have to throw to win you all your games. You can blend in what should be a very, very effective running game between Tracy, Singletary, and Scatterbo. So that's kind of going to be the engine here, is going to be the New York Giants defense, but probably first and foremost, their defensive line. Now, again, the Giants are in this difficult spot. You have your future QB1 waiting in the wings. It's not like your fan base or your media has this long outstanding relationship with Russell Wilson. So any slip ups or the offense looks to be underperforming with Russell Wilson, then you truly have to understand and deal with the possibility that maybe you're playing Jackson Dart earlier than you originally anticipated to put him on the field. But look, you draft a quarterback within the first round of the NFL draft. If he's not starting from day one, that clock is ticking, and it is ticking right away. You add all that in, and then you equate that with Ryan Dable and the possibility that his tenure in New York is not going to go into 2026 if this team is unsuccessful in 2025. There's a lot of varying factors here for the New York Giants. I think the New York Giants are good, but I think the New York Giants might be 1 year away. How that affects Brian Dable, I'm not so sure. But the New York Giants will be an improved football team in 2025, but still with a new and improved NFC East, the New York Giants still might be on the outside looking in. Thanks you for watching this video. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, and be sure to come back and check out the AFC West previews beginning with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the Bet Canada channel, and I am your host, Jeff Lloyd.